Well, good morning and Happy New Year. God, what a month it's been. Unbelievable. But it's wonderful to be back. And if those of you don't know, that the old man passed away in December, horribly inconvenient, right before Christmas. So we had to down tools, literally down tools, and go and spend time with the family. But while I was away, Michelle held the fort and sold tons of cars. I mean, what a trooper she's been. So I'm literally back at the old upper forecourt, and I've got a bizarre little car here, a Skoda Amarok. And I went and picked that up from Preston the other day. It's extraordinary. Anyway, there's a bit of a story behind that one, but little by little, I will explain what's happened during the last month, because quite a bit's happened. And some great things have happened, and some crap things have happened. So we're going to get back into things slowly. Not sure if there's going to be a cook-off this week, but you just never know where things take us. But I'm going to take this back down to the new lower forecourt, get back into the office and get back to bloody work and sell some bloody cars. So that's what we've got to do, and get back into the swindle, I think. So it's been too long. It's been far too long. Right, got my bags packed for the office, keys all go, and I'll see you down there. Laters. Right, back at base, and you'll see some familiar faces here probably, and some new faces. But let me explain what's been going on. We'll start over there, the bloody Freelander. We've actually had a few inquiries on that. Some very close calls, but slipped through the net. So that is a car that we need to shift quickly. Remember, that had the new battery in it, and we priced it slightly higher because of the new battery. And now we're just going to pull it down and get it gone. Mini, bugger all inquiries on that one. Kodiak, bugger all inquiries on that one. That's the new Carrot. Still got the Freelander here. We'll do a price adjustment on that one. And this bloody Ford Cougar. I mean, no one wants it. Not one inquiry on this car. 13,000 miles. Maybe it's because it's 13,000 miles. It's an 18 plate. People think, what the hell's going on there? But not one inquiry on that one. But I might shift that through trade. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely brilliant car. But so from all of that, you can probably see what we have sold. Now remember that ST? That little baby's gone. Went for full money. That was fantastic. And remember, that was a chain in a chain of, remember that Discovery that we replaced the DPF on? Well, they part exchanged a Nissan Qashqai, and then the chap that bought the Nissan Qashqai part exchanged that. So when we sold the ST, all the profit from those came rolling in, which was lovely. About bloody time. What else has gone? The other Disco Sport, grey one, remember that one? That's gone. 2 Nissan Qashqais, gone. What else? We've bought a Golf, that's currently having the in the body shop. Bought a Golf. Also bought the Carrot. I'll tell you a bit about the Carrot actually, the Amarok. A chap wanted a Amarok 1.5 manual. We tried to actually sell him the Kodiak 1.5, but he said the car was a bit too big. Anyway, so we found him that, and he's coming down to hopefully buy it. And I thought, well, if we do buy that, if he doesn't buy it, then you know that can sit there for about 8 months and not get sold. So you know, that's what sort of seems to go on around here. And we bought got the Golf in a part exchange for one of the Nissan Qashqais. What else? We went to auction last week, so I have been coming back and forth. But And we did go to auction last week, and what a palaver that was. Absolute palaver. But we got 3 cars at auction last week, and I'll explain to you what they are. I'll explain to you a bit later how the bloody auction went, but it was a bloody bun fight. First auction back in the new year, and it was chaos. Oh God, I'm exhausted even talking about it. But anyway, so Michelle's coming back in a car. She's fettling her car somewhere, and then we're going to go to Plymouth and go pick it up. In fact, here's Michelle now. Remember that? Still got it, and the bloody roof's down there. But I'll explain all that later on. Come on, Michelle, this way. But finally, this is all getting up for sale now. Hallelujah. We've had loads of stuff done to it, and it's now ready to go. Lids off. Lids off. Look at it. Beautiful. So that's the plan. But anyway, we're off to Saltash, and I'll catch you later. Bye. Right, I'm back from Saltash from Mannheim, and with the first of 2 cars that we bought last week from the auction. Now, as I said, the auction was a complete bloody bun fight, and all the small cars were getting snapped up by all the dealers for bugger all margin. I couldn't quite understand it, but there were certain cars that weren't really being touched, and it was sort of the bigger stuff, the slightly more riskier stuff. Now, as you know, I don't mind a little bit of risk, because with a little bit of risk comes with a little bit of reward, all being well. So at Mannheim last week, we got this Disco in a lovely green. Look at it, isn't it lovely? And this had a couple of things on the report of a rattly underside. Now, with a bit of experience here, I immediately went underneath, and it was actually a loose heat shield on the DPF. Seriously hoping it's not a rattly DPF either. Had one of those as well. But so that went dirt cheap because no one touched it, and everyone was hoovering up all the Polos, the bloody Fords and Minis and all that sort of stuff. All small stuff was flying out, but no one really touched that. And we got that for an utter steal. So I'm really glad. Manual. I know some people like manuals. We sold a couple of manuals, but it's a nice colour. It's done low mileage, something like 55,000 miles. And the other one, which I bought today, or picked up today, same sort of, again, no one touched this, and there's probably a bloody good reason why no one touched it, apart from me. And Michelle, but it's a cracking looking car. Look at that, Jaguar F-Pace. It's the 2 litre, so it's not got a huge amount of grunt to it, and a fairly basic spec inside, although it's got the heated seats and what have you. But let me show you inside, and I've just driven it back. It drives a perler, it really is. Have a look at this. Oh, don't mind if I do. Look at that red interior. I mean, not really my cup of tea, but what the hell? Someone's going to like it. And if we get in it, let's give it a... There we go. Sounds like a Land Rover when you turn it on, to be honest. 37,000 miles. Nothing wrong with it. Drove it back. Drove beautifully. Manual again. You'd expect probably an automatic in this sort of thing, but again, what the hell? Someone will want a manual. So all in all, I quite like this car. I just hope it doesn't bite me in the bloody arse. A couple of little things that needs doing to it. Down on the bottom bit there's a bit of scrapage. Little bit of scrapage there too. A couple of £100 might sort that one out. But between that one and the Disco, I think we paid about 16.5 grand all in for both of those cars. And there's good margins in both of them. Hopefully. Right, I'm going to get that in. It's Monday evening. Start of a new week. Not quite sure. I'm going to probably go and see the old chaps, the kids. I haven't seen those for 2 or 3 days. I've been up with my mother sorting all of Dad's stuff out. And I've got something rather interesting to show you that's come from my father tomorrow. But we'll leave that till later on. But I'm going to call it a night tonight. There she is. We've got one more to pick up, either tomorrow or Wednesday. But that one's a bit of a shit heap. It's a right carsy. I haven't a clue why we bought it. It was like the second car that went through in the auction, and it was so cheap. Just couldn't resist it. But we'll sell it. It'll be a good seller. But I'll show you that later on in the week. Anyway, laters. Morning, chaps. It's Tuesday, and another cracking day in Devon. Look at this. It's beautiful. Which means I'm full of cold this morning. Bloody cold's just caught me. But I'm going to get this finally up for sale. It's all done, and now the sun's shining. I'm going to get it photographed and get the bugger sold. So I need to pick my spot out there. But what else have we doing today? We've got an auction tomorrow. There's an auction at Mannheim, and we could buy a car or two. And this is what I'm thinking, is that if there is a complete bun fight again, maybe I should just concentrate on the things like that. I know they're problematic, but they bloody sell, and they sell well, and they seem to sell very well down here. So there is a problematic one as well. There's a slight problematic one. It's got a bit of a smoky engine, which doesn't put me off, because I know that it's going to need some work doing to it, and I've just got to figure out all the bits and bobs that could be wrong with it and look at a worst case scenario, build that into my margin, and base my bid on that. You never know, you can get a bit lucky. But if I approach it as if it's a worst case scenario, I know that bugger all people will be bidding on it. It's got a problem on the report, as I said, so less people are going to even be looking at it. So there's a chance we might get one for a bit of a steal. And yes, it will be hanging around a little bit, getting the work done, but there'll be a bloody good margin in it, even when the work's done, and it will sell quickly. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking about, because I just can't compete with all these chaps who are buying cars with absolutely zero margins on the basis that they're hoping to get a good part exchange in quickly, and sell them some finance and some warranties. I just don't have the footfall to create the volume to be able to sell those sort of cars. All very well if I'm on a big high street and I'm selling 4 or 5 cars, or 3 or 4 cars a day, but that just doesn't happen. Well, it's not happening here because we're a bit tucked away. So I need to really concentrate on cars that are going to bring in good margins and that are good sellers, and not try and compete with those chaps. Oh dear, right. Sorry to waffle on there, but that was just the way my head's at today. Anyway, let's get this photographed. Laters. Right, that's the Amarok, all up for sale. Brilliant. About bloody time. Right, so next job is disco. The fan heater doesn't work. So you put the fan on, put the heating on, and nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. So I've cracked open the bonnet, and behind here, the battery housing, if you look very closely in there, Probably need a torch, probably can't see it very well. There's the fan. Now they can stick, and I've got a very expensive tool which I managed to locate from just behind me, and I don't know if I'll turn around so you can see what I'm doing. Now in there is the fan, and it's stuck, but with this I can free it up. No, you can't see it on the camera, but hang on. There we go. Just unstuck. So I think a load of moisture can get in around here, and I think it can seep down the bottom. It can just, I don't know, get corroded, and it's happened once before. But right, let's try and, I don't know why I just threw that away, because I might need it again in a second. Oopsie. Right, let's turn it on and see what happens. Oh, she's a bit rattly, isn't she? There we go, fan's bloody working. Quieter. Hear that? So a wonderful little tip. If your fan breaks on a Discovery Sport, then you know what to do. Just give it a poke and it's fixed. Beautiful. I put all this back, and there's loads of other bits and bobs I need to attack on this one, but one thing at a time. But I'm glad that fan's now fixed. Laters. Morning, chaps. It's Wednesday and it's auction day, and also I've got a meeting this morning. I'm not going to say who it's with, but it's just going to bore me to tears. I'm not looking forward to it. It's just another one of those meetings that's going to go on and bore me to tears. But before that kicks off, I'm going to show you a car that I'm going to bid on today. Remember I said yesterday about being a bit ballsy and buying some more riskier stock. Well, I've got just the thing right in front of me, and yes, it is another Discovery Sport, and yes, they sell bloody well here. So well, that could be the chap turning up for the meeting. Oh Christ, I better get going. Anyway, let me show you what it is. So this is a Mannheim Plymouth. So it's a 2018 Discovery Sport. It's the 180 HSE Luxury. So it's got a good spec, and it's the 180 horsepower. Have had the 150s SEs before, and they have sold well, but people like a little bit of luxury, so it's a good one. 57,000 miles on an 18 plate, couple of keys. It's got everything here. It's got 3 services. MOT expires in February. Cap clean 11050. But it actually retails at about 16, something like that. So there's a good margin in it, but this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. Let's have a look. It's got a fair bit of scuffs, dents, dings, and all that sort of stuff. Nothing too major, but there's probably about 500-600 quid's worth of repairs on that. Now here we go. It says engine smokes when revved, and it's got a ancillary component noise present. When I've seen these, the ancillary component noise, I literally can't hear a bloody thing. Or it's just maybe a little squeaky belt or something like that. It gets tightened up. It's absolutely fine. But I wouldn't really worry about that one too much. This one here, engine smokes when revved. I mean, gosh, could be anything, and it depends what colour the bloody smoke is, I guess. But all in all, that will put people off, I'm sure. People in the hall will know what's going on with it, but people at home like me, or in the office bidding on it, may not be able to see it. So we're going to have to listen carefully and see what the bidders do in the hall. But got a mixed match of tyres on here. 3, so we've probably got a tyre or 2 to replace. Got a Pirelli thrown in there. So we will see. Let me just show you the actual car. I mean, it's nice looking. I mean, it's a Discovery Sport, isn't it? Excuse my sniffling again. Tow bar, so can be handy. Just never know what it's been towing, really. So yeah, let's have a look. So there's about 750 quid's worth of bodywork to do on it, and then we've got the smoky thing to sort out. Cap clean on this is 11.05. So retail's about 16. So there's about 5 in it at the moment. Well, 11 plus fees, whatever the fees are going to be. So fees on that. On my account, we're probably about 350 quid, 400 quid. But I certainly don't want to be paying that if the engine's smoking. So I'm going to go very low and see how we go. But I'll let you know how it gets on. Laters. Well, good evening. Wednesday evening, back home with a cup of tea. I've been driving this around the Jaguar. Got something to say about that in a second. It's not all great news, but I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on what happened at Mannheim. And armchair bidding today, so I didn't go there in person because I had a few meetings, and yes, I was absolutely right. Utterly boring meetings. Difficult to stay awake, but we got through it, and every now and then I was popping back to the computer to check up on the lot, that Land Rover Discovery Sport. Anyway, it came through and the bidding started. I think you remember the cap clean was about 11, just over 11 grand. Anyway, bidding started at 10.5. I didn't nudge at all, didn't click the button, just waited. And then it went down to 10. I did the same again, just waited. No one was placing a bid. Then it went down to 9.5. And off we went. So someone put a bid in for 9.1. And then it went up, and I think we got it at... No, someone put a bid in at 9.5, so it went 9.5, 9.6, and then it started slowing down, and then I jumped in 9.7, 9.8, and we got it for 10. So that's a £10,000 buy. Retails at 16 to 50, something like that. So the reason why I actually did buy it is the other people that were bidding on it were actually in the hall, and so they could see the smoke, and I could see a little bit of smoke, a little bit of white smoke, nothing too drastic at all. The auctioneer didn't mention anything about how smoky it was, and usually they do if it's really puffing up clouds from the back. So that put a bit of confidence in me that someone from the hall was bidding, or a couple of people from the hall were bidding, because they could see exactly what was wrong with it. Usually if they're not bidding, then I'm going to stay clear, really. So we got it. So we've got to get it back. It's got about 750 quid's worth of bodywork to do on it. So it's all being factored in. And we've got to have a look at this smoke issue and see how bad it is, what needs to be done. So fingers crossed, but you just never know. That's why the margin's so chunky on that. You just never know what's going to happen. But hopefully we'll get through it with minimal issues. Fingers crossed. But anyway, we'll see how we go. But I'm happy with that. I'm really happy. I'm happy buying something, knowing there's a problem to sort out, instead of sort of getting it back here and going, my head in my hands and my heart falls through my bloody arsehole, and then it's nice to know there's an issue to sort out and it's there, and we could get lucky with it. But right, so I've been driving the Jag around the last couple of days just to get a feel for it, just to see if anything pops up on the dashboard, any gremlins in there, and sure enough, a gremlin appeared. So the engine management light came on, put the diagnostics on it, and it came up with a NOx sensor fault. So I was looking through the service history on the car, and actually it's been serviced and had worked on it up at Newton Abbot, so that's not too far away from here. And I looked back at the service history, and in November it had a NOx sensor replaced. So, I mean, there's two, I believe, I think, on these things. So 2 NOx sensors. I'm first port of call, and I'm going to take it back into that garage and say, listen here, chaps, you put a new NOx sensor in this thing less than 2 months ago. Can you have a look at it and just make sure if it's that one, maybe it's something come loose or something like that. You just never know. And they might look at it and go, oh, sorry, mate, yeah, it's under warranty, we'll replace it. Or it could be the other one. Chances are it'll be the other one. So, yeah. Anyway, there's again, we bought that really, really well, knowing there's a couple of little issues with it, but I didn't quite realise it was the old Noco sensor. Fucker. And so we might get lucky with that, in that they may replace it under warranty if they've got a parts warranty on it. But other than that, it's an absolute pearl. It dries beautifully. So fingers crossed. So yeah, I'm not down in the dumps about anything. Not down in the dumps about issues or anything going wrong. That's the whole part of this game, really. Taking risks whilst buying, because as I said earlier, I'm not going to get tied into the bun fight at the auctions. And yes, it was a bun fight again. I think I was bidding on a Mini, which went for about £1.5 grand over cap clean, which sort of left, again, about 300 quid margin for someone. I just couldn't believe it. Anyway, there we go. So it's a cracking evening. It's a beautiful evening. The sun's setting. Actually, the sun's setting over there somewhere. I've got the boys this evening, but I'm not going to do a cook-off tonight. I've got full of cold. I'm exhausted. And I said it was going to be an easy week this week, so that's what it's going to be. So maybe a cup of tea. I'm about to cook them pie and chips or something like that. More comfort food. Light the fire, hunker down, watch a movie. It's a school night, and just relax. Right, chaps, I'm waffling on now. So we'll see you tomorrow. But that's the new Land Rover bought, and problem with the Jag, but we're on the case to get it sorted out. So we'll catch you later. Bye. Good afternoon, Thursday, and I've been working on the Amarok today. What a fine car this is. Look, it's absolutely immaculate. So been polishing it up, and just done the test drive on it, and 2 lovely people came along, test drove it, and they said it's the perfect car for them, and we're going to go away and think about it. So I said, you go and do that. You think about it, and we'll never see you again. But that's what they're going to do. But there's absolutely nothing wrong. You could not fault this car at all, other than a couple of little things which are in the post on the way here and just getting sorted out. But that's absolutely fine. 54,000 miles, 1.5 manual. It's an absolute belter. But that was the one I picked up from Preston up north. Horribly uncomfortable about going that far north, but needs must. Anyway, so that's what happened this morning. Also this morning I went over to, Michelle and I went to Mannheim to go and pick up this car that I must say, this is Michelle's fault, by the way. She bid on this. It was like the second car that was going through the auction, first auction of the year, and we're all horribly excited. Our back legs were going and everything, and it was dirt cheap. I said, Michelle, look at that, 650 quid. She went, get it. So I was like, okay. Anyway, she was like, get it. But actually, looking at it, Nissan Qashqai, 155,000 miles. I would never, ever normally have something on the forecourt with that sort of mileage. But there it is, and I thought, well, maybe I'll use it as a runaround, because the old Ravo getting a bit tired, but still got some life in it. But I thought, well, maybe I could, it's so cheap, I'll just run it around myself. But actually, it's in pretty good nick. It looks a bit grubby, but inside's disgusting. But the bodywork, ain't too bad. Ain't too bad at all. Tidy little thing, diesel 1.5, and if you service them right, they'll go on forever, I believe. But this ain't got any services, so we will see. But other than that, other bit of bird crap on the front, she's a bloody belter. Now have a look inside, because this is where things start getting a little bit ropey. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, look at all this. Oh my good God. I mean, how people could... Got this crap here. Have a little mould in the back. Mould in the back. Now there's a bit of... Must be a bit of water coming somewhere, but I think I've spotted where that is. Let's have a look on the back seats. Yeah, look, seatbelt. The old seatbelt lurgy. Always, even in the nice smart cars we've got in the forecourt, they still get seatbelt rot over time, so you've got to keep an eye on those. Let's have a look at the boot. Oh, stinks of dog. Bit of hair everywhere. Disgusting mats. They'll have to go. Or maybe not, actually. Depends who's driving it. But that water's probably coming in. Little bits and bobs like this. Look at that. It'll really irritate me. Really irritate me because there's nothing I can do about them. And I think the same on this side. Oh look, but we've got something going on here. So those little jobs I hate dealing with. That needs sorting out. But what do you expect? 650 quid? Actually, I don't think it's too bad actually. Could probably retail that at around 1,700 quid, but still got to service it, still got to clean it, still got to fix little bits and bobs, buy little bits and bobs. By the end of it, there's going to be bugger all margin in it. So I don't know. What do you suggest? I'll run it around, keep it as a little courtesy car or something. But they do go on forever, I think, if they're serviced. But this isn't. Anyway, there's the cash guy. That's the shit heap of the month, really. And then we've got, we didn't get a chance to pick up the Discovery today, but I did go and have a look at it. And actually the bodywork on the outside is not 750 quid. It's probably about 400 quid. And then we've got the smoking issue to look at as well, but that's all booked in. Yeah, so anyway, this upper forecourt will be filling up quite a lot soon, because we could still get some more cars. Anyway, right, I've got Ted to go and pick up the other one, and I'm going to call it a day today. That's the problem with doing school pickups. Your day ends at about, what time is it now? It's 20 to 3, and I've got about an hour and a half of school runs to do. It's bloody annoying. So that's another reason. Good high margins. Fewer cars, but good margins in cars, so you're not running around like a bloody blue-ass fly. And because the working day is actually quite short, I could come back later and carry on working, but other things tend to get in the way. Right, we'll catch you later. Bye. Right, good afternoon, chaps. It's Friday, and it's been all bloody go today. Went to Mannheim this morning and went and got that disco. Here it is. And let me show you the car. So let's rewind a little bit. This is the one that had smoke pouring out the back, and an engine noise coming from under the engine. And it's a bit grubby inside. Well, first of all, show you the I'll show you the outside first, but in pretty good nick, and you'll see where I mentioned it's going to be about 450 quid to do the bodywork. But 2018, slightly better spec. The 2018 models have a much better chain. I think they improved something somewhere, so less likely to get that stretched chain issue on the 18s, I believe. But Yeah, let's show you the bodywork. Bit of a nasty gouge there in the driver's door, but so that's one of the main parts, main issues. A little bit of scuffage and bits and bobs here. I mean, nothing, touching them all, they'll polish out, I think. A detachable tow bar, that needs to come out probably. But this is the other major bit. It's clearly reversed into a post or something. You've got dent, bumper, paint work there. And then other than that, nothing else. It's absolutely fine. Wind mirror's all fine. There is a if I open the boot, watch what happens. You go to put your shopping in, putting everything in, and then bam, right on your head. So that it just does that automatically. So I don't know why or what the hell's the problem with that, but it's another thing to sort out. I keep forgetting there's an issue with it, and it keeps catching me out. It's nearly had my head off twice. Right, so let me start this little chap up, and let's have a look at this smoke issue. Right, it's a bit grubby inside, very grubby, but that's just cosmetic clean up, absolutely fine. Anything in there? Just a bit of dirt. Oh yeah, just dirt. I think it's been on a farm or something like that. Nice pano roof, mind. Right, let's it's got yeah, it needs a full set of boots as well, really. Washer fluid. No nasty gremlins on the dashboard. Let's have a look at this smoke. What bloody smoke. Absolutely nothing. And you know what? The inside here, is pretty clean. So it's not sitting up on the back exhaust, which is another really good sign. So the car's not smoking, and I've given this a good drive as well, and even when I started up at Mannheim it wasn't smoking, so I don't know if they're just trying to protect their arses when they do the reports. And it was a bloody cold day and it hadn't been driven for ages, but it clearly had a smoke. Now you can hear, I'll get the old microphone, so it's the smoke, and also there was an auxiliary noise coming from somewhere. Now you can hear something, a little rattle. Now that rattle, put the microphone a bit closer. So that rattle is not a chain. It would be a different noise if it was a chain. I tell you if you get it. It would be a different noise if it was a chain. So I took it into the garage on my way back, and they said, yeah, it's just a slightly loose shield somewhere underneath, and it's all booked in for a service. Only needs a minor service. Had a major service last year. What a buy! If that all goes to plan, that it just needs a bit of a heat shield nipping up. It's not smoking. I'm going to put the diagnostics on it shortly. All we've got to tackle is a bit of bodywork and some new tyres, and obviously give it all the necessary checks, pads, discs, and all that sort of stuff. But they all look pretty good. I think there's a disc that needs sorting out. Back disc may need replacing. All in all, I'm really happy with that. Really chuffed. Detachable tow bar, and it's the 18 model, which has got a few more fancy bits and bobs. The infotainment is a little bit more modern and more slick, but everything else is pretty as standard. And it just need a bloody good clean. So there we have the Land Rover in and starting its journey of prep. Jag is going in today for the bodywork just on this corner and the other corner, very small little tidy up, and then it's got to have this knock sensor looked at. Oh yeah, apparently we did contact the garage, and apparently the guy who had this car went in and said, I don't want to pay for a full knock sensor, so here's a rubbish one on eBay, fit it for me. So the chaps went, all right then, but you know, we can't guarantee anything. So it may be that aftermarket knock sensor that he bought is packed in or is rubbish, or it's another one. Anyway, that's being looked at next week. Yeah, next week. But it's going to the body shop today, and it'll be ready on Monday. So that's the Jag. Right, the Mini. Test drive on this about half an hour ago. Woman said, I need to come down and test drive that lovely Mini that looks like a pumpkin. And we said, absolutely, you must come down and have a look at it. She's just been, and she's just gone. And we've also got another test drive on it tomorrow at 11, so she's going to let us know whether she's going to take it or not. No Partex on that one, but unfortunately. But and then this chap here, the Freelander. The Freelander is being test driven tomorrow as well, so we've got a bit of a day tomorrow of test drives. That one maybe again, and this one, and also the Ford Focus is being test driven. There's so many. It's all go, as I said, test drives left, right, and centre, which is fantastic. You know, we've bought a lot of cars in this week, and we've got lots of test drives booked. So whether that we'll all sell all these by the end of this video, I'm not sure, but and we've got the Ford Focus being test driven tomorrow. God, exhausting. But still absolutely nothing on the Cougar and some other bits and bobs. Anyway, I need to get organised with a few other bits and bobs and get that Jaguar down to the body shop. Laters. Right, morning chaps. Saturday morning, I've got a slight bloody problem. Someone's coming to view the Land Rover, fired it up the other day, absolutely fine, no problem at all. So I knew it was going to be absolutely spot on. Car's looking fantastic. And then get in it this morning. Key in. Ignition on. Let's go. What the fuck is wrong with that? Anyway, I've called the customer. I said, look, explain the situation. He still wants to come anyway, which is good. So it's not a complete surprise to him, but baffled. Started the other day, absolutely fine. Doesn't start now. Not a flat battery, just won't fire. Just won't fire. Like it just won't. Do you know what? I don't even know what to look for now. When something starts, on the button every time, and then suddenly nothing. Not a bloody dicky. Anyway, I've got to try and sort this out because he's on his way. Horribly embarrassing, but if I make him a cup of tea and everything will be okay. Anyway, I'll let you know how it goes later. Right, I have a feeling that we've been robbed. Now, trying to start this car, just looking at the fuel gauge, there is bugger all fuel in it. And this, I know, had about 3/4 of the tank of fuel. And the fuel gauge is absolutely on minimum, or nothing. So I think some little bastard, diesel, easy to access. All the others are all locked. All the others are locked, except for that one. And I know it had 3/4 of the tank of fuel in it. And we must have, every week we tend to run all these cars up and check them and make sure they fire up and everything, just keep the batteries all charged up. And when we were running it, we must have been running the fuel in the pipes, and it's not picking up any more fuel. Fucking bastards! I can't think of anything else. I mean, this car started on the button every single bloody time, and it just seems a coincidence that there's no fuel in it, and it ain't starting. I can't believe it. If that is the case, I cannot believe it that we've been bloody robbed here. It makes you wonder where you really step the game up. I've got cameras all being ordered. They're all going to be installed and everything. I'm just a little bit late with this, since we've moved in recently and everything going on in December of bloody Dad dying and all that sort of stuff. So probably took our foot off the pedal slightly, but everything's locked up and secure. But you can access these cars. You can, there is always a way to access a car. Could jump over a gate or something like that. I mean, difficult driving them out, mind, but anyway, I feel a bit disheartened about that. And we've got a chap coming to view it, but I have explained everything to him, and he's absolutely fine. Just wants to come and look at the car. And I said we'll sort it out. We'll bring the car to you when we for a test drive. But come and have a look at it anyway. And he's only down the road, so don't feel too bad about that. But I'm a bit pissed off that someone's taken the bloody liberty and siphoned out the fuel, and I'm 99% sure that is the case. Anyway, I've got 2 more test drives today, so I'm going to fire those up. Oh, I did the Mini yesterday, so I know that's all fine. I've got the Ford Focus to do as well. But I'll concentrate on those now and wait for this chap to come. Anyway, laters. Well, the test drive, not test drive, but the viewing on the Land Rover went down like a cold cup of sick. Awful. Well, it wasn't that bad, but the chap actually was very understanding, and he loves the car. It's the car's absolutely immaculate. It's a really, as I say, a lovely example for its age. Lovely car. But I said to him, look, I'll get it all sorted out. I'm terribly sorry that you weren't able to drive it. And he was absolutely fine. And I'm going to take it over to his place when I've got it going, and we're going to carry out a proper test drive. So he's still on the hook, but we'll see. Now, I also did a test drive on the Focus. And that Focus is sold. I've had that around for a little while, so it's lovely to get that sold. 2 local chaps came along, and they want to buy it. They wanted they had a look at the back tyres. Back tyres are fine, and they are, they passed an MOT and all that sort of stuff. They just wanted them replaced. And normally one would argue saying, look, it's a second-hand car, mate, and the tyres are absolutely fine. Which, it's fine, but there's a margin in there. Crunch the deal, get it done. A couple of tyres on the back. Probably 50 quid a tyre, 100 quid. But there's still a good margin in that car. And it's been hanging around for a while, and it'd be lovely to see it gone. And they love the car. So that's a done deal, which is brilliant. And in 20 minutes, we've got the test drive on the Mini. The second test drive on the Mini. The first woman we didn't hear a dicky bird out of after the test drive, so she's gone. And so we'll nurture this one and see if we can push this one over the line. If we can, it'll be a lovely end of the week, and it might just squeeze into this video. But so far so good on a Saturday. A bit of a funny start, but we're getting somewhere. But I'll let you know how it goes. Laters. Right, fuck me, tripping over everything. That's the Mini test drive done, and as good as sold, I think. They haven't parted with any money, so nothing's sold until the deal is done and things are signed and all that sort of stuff. But she absolutely adores it. Yes, sod's law, we probably will never see her again, but she is going to go away and scramble to go another 3,000 quid, and she just wants to make sure she can do that. Ask Daddy for some money, and then she's going to WhatsApp me later on today, and then she'll say, just send the invoice and I'll pay it. So Looking good, looking really good. She didn't want to part with any money just this second because she just wanted to just make sure she could secure the extra funds. But makes you wonder why people come and test drive a car and not quite have the money for it, not quite sure where they're going to get the money from. But we'll see. We'll see. It's a funny business. But, well, you know what? My mother is coming down this afternoon and we're going to spoil her rotten. And it's her birthday next week. So she's down for about four or 5 days. And so I'm going to call it a week. Usually I wrap this up over a pint, and but what a week it's been. First week back. I'm sorry, I probably waffled on far too much this week. No cooking, so I'm sorry about that. Next week we'll start doing some cooking. Big week of prep next week. Lots of things to find out. God knows what that discovery is going to flag up, but hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing. I've got so much more to tell you that I haven't even started. I've got a whole new load of camera equipment down here. I've got to talk you through that and why I've got it and all that sort of stuff. That's really exciting. And loads of other stuff I haven't even covered. And I even forgot to tell you that the Q7 sold as well. And that was an absolute belter before Christmas. And Michelle took care of that one. Oh, exhausting. But really look forward to seeing you next week. Have a lovely weekend. I'm definitely going to have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you very soon. Cars bought, cars sold, and so things are looking good. Catch you later. Bye.